Yeah, Friday night football kicks off the big weekend here on Sky Sports, and joined, like you said, by Jamie Carragher, a man who never lost to Wolves in his professional career and has 3 times as many wins against Manchester City as defeats. So there you go, good place for you to be.
Yeah, that's it.
Jamie, how are you feeling going into this one? It feels like a big game of the weekend.
Yeah, it does. I think it starts the weekend really well. I think we've got 2 of the most informed teams. I don't know what the form table is off the top of my head, but I just know these 2 teams are in really good form. Wolves, especially considering where they were when the manager came in, and you think of sort of the squad that they've got, you wouldn't expect them to be near the top of the form table, but that's where they are, and that's the impact that the manager's had. And Pep Guardiola has worked as magic, certainly since Erling Haaland dropped out. Really, he thought they're going to really struggle, but he's come up with something now. There's lots of bodies in midfield. He's always said that he wants that, but whenever you see his team play, he always plays with great width in the attacking line. But that's been the case of late, so it's going to be intriguing.
Erling Haaland may well be in the matchday squad tonight. Is that a boost, or do you not want to see him change this winning side?
No, it's always a boost. Listen, he's the best goal scorer in world football. You put him in first and you work around that. City have had great success with him, but of course, midway through the season, it was all over the place. No matter what Pep Guardiola did in midfield, it was a problem. He seems like he's fixed that to a certain extent by just putting almost 6 players in there. In certain games, but if you play Erling Haaland, you can't do that. But as I said, he may be just in the squad. He may get himself sort of fully fit by the time they get to the FA Cup final. But if Haaland's fit, he has to play.
Quotes coming out from an interview with Pep Guardiola, from an interview he's done with ESPN Brazil today, saying he's going to take a break at the end of his Manchester City contract in 2027. Does that surprise you, or do you kind of feel like at the moment it kind of feels like it's been one of those seasons where actually a reset may be needed?
Yeah, but I think they'll have the reset in terms of what they'll do in the market in the summer. And I think there was a lot of talk of Pep maybe leaving. Was it this season? He signed a contract this season, didn't he? Yeah. Everybody who works with him tells you how intense he is. So, and certain players can't put up with that so long. That's why it feels at times there is a lot of change at Manchester City in terms of personnel. If someone's not happy, they get moved on quite quickly. Because even though Pep is the most successful coach we've probably ever seen and probably ever will see, it is tough working with him, so you can imagine what it's like. He's taken his work home with him as well, and he's been here a long time as well. He's been very successful, and he deserves a break if he feels he needs one, he needs one.
How much are you looking forward to watching Wolves tonight, and how impressed have you been with them under Vitor Pereira?
Massively impressed. Had them on Monday Night Football a couple of times. He seems like a big character to the Premier League. The Wolves supporters fell in love with him. They're all going for a pint with him when he gets the points, and he does okay. So it'd be intriguing to see how they do against Manchester City tonight and the problems they may be able to cause them, because, as I said, throughout his time in the Premier League, he's done that to a lot of top managers.
Yeah, they haven't beaten a top 7 team all season, but they do have Matthias Cunha, who's one of the most informed forwards in the Premier League. Could he be the difference tonight?
He could be the difference. He has been the difference for them for a long time. He might be the difference for another team in Manchester next season if we read all the talk in the press at the moment. But he's a top quality player. I think when we were looking at our team of the year halfway through the season, he was in it. And that was for the team struggling near the bottom of the table. So his quality, and without doubt, I think if coming into this game, Pep Guardiola, if he's speaking to anybody in the Wolves shirt in the team meeting to his players, it's Cunha.
Like the feel-good factors kind of bounce back around both of these teams, but it feels like a good acid test tonight to see where these teams really are, I suppose. Yeah,
I think that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, Wolves are just climbing up the table. The run that they're on, I mean, it's unbelievable, really, for any team in the bottom half. Never mind a team who were fighting relegation a couple of months ago. So this will be a test of them, but the way they're playing, I think it'll be a test of Manchester City as well.
Yeah, we know you're preparing for tonight's game, but we've also been told tonight that Luis Diaz is hoping to sit down with Liverpool at the end of the season and talk about a new contract. Is that the kind of thing they need to be looking at, keeping their best players in-house?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, Luis Diaz, where I think if you could flip a coin with some people saying they'd love him to sign a new contract, or people say it might be the time where you get good money for him because he's at a good age. If you sign him on a new 4 or 5 year deal, you have that player, but then you don't get the resale value in the future. I mean, I think he's been one of the best left wingers in the Premier League this season. I don't think he's quite Sadio Mane, so I think in Liverpool supporters I actually don't think we haven't quite replaced, or we haven't got our Mane, if you like, but how many of them is there about? I actually, if I'm being honest, I think for the majority of this season, up until Christmas, I was thinking, you sell Luis Diaz in the summer. I think the way he's played and the way Liverpool's front line might change, and with the fact they can play now through the middle in the manager's eyes, I think he's going to stay, and I think it might be other players who move on in the front line rather than Luis Diaz.